Okay, so yesterday, Redfin dropped an article in reference to something that I've been saying over the past 6 to 9 months that was going to happen in the housing market. And that is that the majority, or at least half, of sellers in the real estate market are going to start offering seller assistance, which was opposite of what we saw during the pandemic. Now, the title of this article is "Nearly Half of Home Sellers Are Making Concessions to Woo Buyers." Now, during the pandemic, with all that free money in the economy, people were paying for all of their closing costs. Now, you got to remember, there are two costs for buyers, two main costs for buyers when they are buying a home. That is down payment and closing costs. So when the interest rates start to rise and we have economic uncertainty, we start to move into something called correction territory, which is where we are right now. And during market corrections, sellers offer seller assistance to buyers to help them get into homes. And sometimes this seller concession can actually be better than a price cut. Here's why. A price cut, for the most part, depending on the price cut, will only bring your mortgage down, $20, $30, $40, $50. However, with these concessions or seller assistance, which they're really the same thing, it can reduce the amount of money you have to bring to the table. And in some cases, I've seen buyers get all of their closing costs paid, get down payment assistance, and some, in very rare cases, will actually get paid. We'll get a cashier's check at the closing for pretty much for buying a house because there was an excess of funds. Now, in this article, it says the main points are: sellers are offering to cover the cost of repairs, mortgage rate buy down, and closing costs as rising interest rates dampen home buyer demand. Pandemic boom towns and pricey coastal markets, including Phoenix and Seattle, have seen the biggest increase in concessions. A record 13% of home sales include a price cut and a final sale price below the list price in addition to a concession. Home sellers gave concessions to buyers in 45.5% of home sales recorded by Redfin agents during the 3 months ending February 28, and that is up from 31.1% 1 year earlier. That's the highest rate of any 3-month period in Redfin's records, which date back to June 2020. Now, if you go back to a lot of the videos that I did in October, November, December, even before then, I was saying that this was going to happen. When it comes to Redfin and Zillow, these things are lagging indicators. The best way and the honest way to know what is going on in the real estate market is to participate and not speculate. So for anyone out there that is a first-time home buyer, or if you're looking to purchase a home, you can actually use these unfortunate interest rate hikes to your advantage by getting the seller to pay some or all of your closing costs. That is also something that would have to be negotiated through yourself if you're representing yourself, or through your agent. Now, this, for the most part, just to give you some strategy, a lot of this will only work if it's a home that's been sitting on the market for a long time. But if you're in multiple offer situations, and you know how some markets are that are hot, you may not be able to get seller concessions. But if you see a house and it has 100 days on it, you most likely can get 3%, 5%, depending on what loan you have. Each loan has a maximum percentage of seller concessions that you can get. If I'm not mistaken, FHA is 6%. And from what I've heard, VA doesn't have a cap on the amount of seller concessions that they can receive. But that's something for you to discuss with your lender and for you to strategize with your agent.